We all know about prosthetic limbs and bactas, but there is a lot more to Star Wars medical technology than just that, so stay tuned for a complete history of Star Wars medicine. Okay, so as you may know, there were civilizations in the galaxy as early as 1 million BBY, and although these civilizations relatively quickly advanced in technology, we don't really know much about their medical technology. There is still some information about it, so I can make a video about the technology of these older civilizations. Let me know if you want to see a video like that in comments, but I didn't really include that today. So I included just the medical technology developed during the Galactic Republic and Galactic Empire, because there is not much information about the medical technology of older civilizations, and I'm too lazy to research it. Okay, so now let's see what we know about medical technology in Star Wars. So to start, the Jedi Order of course harnessed the Force for healing powers, utilizing their connection to mend wounds and aid the recovery. There were also witches of Dathomir and their Night Sister magics and Duros healers and stuff like that. But we'll not talk about Force related medicine today, or magic or whatever, so moving on. First we have prosthetics. It's unknown when prosthetics were invented, so to speak, but we do know that they were used for a pretty long time. We do know that prosthetic technology did get better over time. Lord Malak had a giant prosthetic jaw, while a few thousand years later, prosthetics weren't noticeably different from original body parts. They were more or less indistinguishable. Even as early as 2000 BBY, it wasn't a problem if somebody lost their hand, really. One of the earliest medical technologies developed under the Galactic Republic was also Kolto. Kolto was a liquid that could only be found naturally on depths of the oceanic planet Manan, and it was known for its healing capabilities. Both the Sith and the Jedi had an equally limited supply of Kolto during the Jedi Civil War, so they sought a way to get more of it to gain an advantage, but all attempts to synthesize Kolto failed. In turn, it became a vital export for the economy of Manan and for the Selkat species that controlled the planet. The Hraket Rift was considered a prime location for Kolto harvesting during the Jedi Civil War. It was a home to a giant shark known as the Progenitor, which may be actually guarding the Kolto. Bacta was invented by the Retics on the planet Typhara, with the galaxy at large learning of its properties around 4100 BBY. The Retics were willing to share their technology, but the substance could only be made on their homeworld, where the needed resources were abundant. Kolto was used along with Bacta for medical treatments. Bacta later outsold Kolto and eventually replaced it altogether. After the reorganization of Galactic Republic during the Clone Wars, the new Galactic Empire only allowed Bacta to be produced on home planet, on Typhara. More than 6 months after the Battle of Yavin, the Empire's Moff Cole led an attack against Rebel Alliance Bacta supplies on Typhara. Okay, so now we go in a little bit weirder stuff. Now, I don't know if this is actually considered as medical technology, but the bounty hunter Lane Z was able to evade capture by the Republic by downloading his consciousness into R5-Q3. That happened during the Clone Wars, by the way. I really don't know if that's more of a medical technology than singularity, but just one instance of something like that has been recorded, and I just want to mention it. Okay, next, in the era of Galactic Republic and beyond, we see the rise of medical droids and cloning technology. There were very skilled medical droids like 2-1B and FX series medical assistants who provided expert care to patients. Medical droids brought efficiency and expertise to healthcare, but questions emerged regarding patient-doctor relationships and the potential of dehumanization. Cloning, on the other hand, raised issues related to individuality, autonomy, and the exploitation of genetic material. Cloning technology played a significant role, with the Kaminoans utilizing cloning techniques to create armies of genetically identical soldiers, the clone troopers of course. I guess that should count as medical technology of some sort. So these are the technologies that are pretty well known. There were also some different injections on the market that could help with repairing the nervous system, as nerves aren't good at regenerating. Now there are some other stuff that are absolutely insane, like literally having a brain in a jar and a cyborg body. And I don't mean just Grievous, there were many instances like that in the history, but keep in mind that this is far from everyday medicine in Star Wars. There were exceptions like Grievous that had almost completely prosthetic body, but again these were exceptions that involved a lot of luck and of course credits. So how good was medicine in Star Wars? Well, it depends on how you look at it. The Grutas and Twi'leks, for example, were known to have an average lifespan of just around 75 years. Although assuming that humans in Star Wars are basically regular humans, we can calculate that medicine in Star Wars is very good. It's stated that humans had an average lifespan of 100 to 120 standard years. And let's not forget that these aren't just, counts and kings, we're talking about slaves too here. So this is pretty impressive actually. But I don't really know how impressive this is I don't really know how long humans will live in, let's say, 100 years. But these numbers are also kinda, wrong. You see, there are many instances when it's said that, especially in novels, that humans basically don't die out of old age at all. They did die, of course, but after the Battle of Yavin, the medical technology seemed to have progressed so much that we even get this quote from Jason Solo. Isn't the medicine insane today? A being is more likely to die because of a meteor strike than from old age. So we can say that humans lived very long after the Battle of Yavin. So yes, Star Wars medicine is pretty impressive. Now there are other medical technologies out there, but they are usually connected to magic or force power, so I think it'll be more interesting if I just include them in my other videos, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, the medical technology in Star Wars was pretty insane. Bacta could help the body regenerate very big scars. We also have fake limbs, and humans in general lived very long. I'm saying humans, of course, because we don't actually know how long other alien species lived in nature, but yeah, it seems that medical technology is pretty impressive. So this is more or less everything that we know from the time of the Galactic Republic. Basically, we have Kolto, we have Bacta, prosthesis, and other weird shit. I can go more into details about every single one of this if you want, you probably don't. This is of course just scratch of the surface, but yeah, these are basically the main medical technologies in the time of the Galactic Republic.
Subscribe, like.
Bye.